All right, what you guys are going to need to do is open up PowerPoint, and you're going to be opening up out of the shared folder the student project PowerPoint 04. And what we're going to be doing is working on managing slides. No, we did finish that yesterday. I don't know, they just asked you to save it. We're going to be doing hide and remove slides. You're going to be doing slide transitions, and you're going to be doing sections. All right, so to get to it, I'll go ahead and close it out so you can see how to get to it. You're going to be going to File, Open, Computer. You might have a recent location of my shared folder, which would be cool, but if you don't, browse for it. Shared drive. Students, Peruco, Microsoft Office certification, MOE PowerPoint, lesson plans, student files, and you're looking for 04 practice. And then it's going to look like this. Cool beans? All right, I'll be bouncing back and forth between the directions here. All right, so first thing in the thumbnails pane, we're going to be adding a section header before slide 1, and then we're going to be renaming the section as introduction, and of course, calling the section header index. The purpose of a section is to break down your PowerPoint into sections, and then think of it as putting files into a folder, where it's like we're putting slides into a folder, is kind of what we're going to be doing. So we are going to come up to slide 1. Make sure slide 1 is active. Now on your ribbon, in your slides section of your ribbon, we're going to drop down where it says section, and you're going to hit add section. Who would have guessed it? Now you notice right away up here it does an untitled section. You can right click it. We're going to rename it, and we're calling it introduction. And then we're going to be inserting a slide, a new slide, with a section header, calling it introduction. Now, what we can do is we can click on our slide sorter on the bottom. It kind of looks like the grid. And I'm going to move my introduction slide to be my first slide. Pretty nifty. So now when I'm back in standard view, I've got my introduction section here, and then my introduction section header. I could collapse all of this, and we're going to get into this. So now all 14 of those slides is collapsed into a quote-unquote folder. Would you look at it? Just look at that. All right, now we're going to go before slide 4, and we're going to add another section header, and we're going to be calling this one process. Sorry, wrong slide. Actually, it's going to go right above 5 here because we did already add the section header slide. So I'm going to drop down section again, add a section, rename it, call it process. Now you notice I can collapse process. So now I've just got my first 4 slides here. Good way to stay organized. Now, if you're working with a 14 slide PowerPoint, it's probably not terribly critical. But if you're working with maybe a 100 slide PowerPoint, or depending on, let's say you're a sales rep for a company and you've got different products in different sections you're pitching. Well, maybe if you're going to a particular company, you're only going to be pitching 2 products out of the 10 different products you have in your slide deck. you can jump to sections and just pitch those sections real quick rather than having to fumble your way through your PowerPoint to find where is that product. Kind of make sense? All right, what we're going to be doing is adding another section header named selling before slide will be 6, and then planning before slide 8, and then executing before slide 12. So right here, new section, planning, slide 9, oh, I did that backwards. This one should be, well, it's 8 because I had inserted that other heading.
So
we're all off by one slide. Executing before slide 12, yeah, okay. So we'll be on slide 13, we're going to be doing executing. And then I didn't go do slide 9 for planning. Oops. Planning.
Yeah, we already did that. Did we move the other one in?
Did we do? I may have told you the wrong.
On 6.
Oh, 6, sorry, that should have been selling.
6 is selling?
Yeah, 6 is selling. So you can right click it and rename this section. There we go. So now you should have a bunch of sections. I can right click on one of these sections and I can hit collapse all. So now you can see how they're broken down into different sections here.
Pretty nifty.
Pretty nifty.
Oh, mine's messed up though. My planning did an extra slide and my executing this guy.
Did you put executing in front of slide 13?
It's got 12, 13, and 14.
Yeah, it should be in front of just 13 because we are off a slide.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And
Let's
mine is
slowly
my
roll
planning.
here. How do you spell executing?
EXECUTING.
How do you spell EXC? Let's just remove that. I think we're good. So
All right.
It's supposed to have 13 and 14, right? Yeah?
Yeah. Now, they want us to go back to slide sorter view. And we're going to be moving slide 2 so that it becomes slide 3. Basically, we're swapping these two.
How did you do that?
It is down on the bottom here, slide sorter. Now remember, we're off a slide, so we're switching 3 and 4. Oh, so now, I don't know if you saw what I accidentally did there. I dragged it too far and I dropped it actually all the way down into planning, so I'm going to undo that.
That was planned, you fake actor.
It was not planned. I did not mean to do that. There we go.
Fake actor.
So be careful where you drop. If you drop into a different section, you can move a slide completely into a different selection very quickly. Staying in that view, we're going to be going to move slide 7. Nope, sorry, we got to add one because we're off by one. Move slide 8 to the left of slide 5. Here's why we're off one, because I was a little confused on this. When they say section, insert a section header, well, we did that. This slide right here is a section header, the introduction. Really, it should have just said simply insert a section. So anyways, we need to move.
8 in front of 5.
Thank you.
So 8 and 5 are in process.
I only have one slide. Oh, 8 in front of 6.
What?
Because we're off by one. 8 in front of 6. There we go.
Why do you keep lying? It likes to keep you on your toes.
It does. It keeps you on your toes.
Burko,
All right.
don't confuse Dakota like that.
We're going to go back to normal view. And this one is going to be, you're going to be like, why did we just do this? But they're just showing you. So we're going up to slide 3. All right. We actually use this feature. I use it a bit. A lot of times I don't want to delete a slide because I may want to come back to it. But at the same time, I don't need it right now, and I don't want it to show up when I'm actually doing a presentation. So you can right-click a slide, and you can hit Hide Slide. And it'll go to like a light gray. So now, for example, notice that this is Service Project Goals. I can see this just fine in the mode I'm currently in. I'm going to go ahead and present my slideshow, however.
Or does it show present? It's hidden.
It will not show in present.
Why would you do that?
Okay, so a reason we would do that, let's say you're doing a sales pitch, and
Is that just like something?
yeah, you're trying to sell something, and you've got different statistics for different parts of the country. Well, you don't want to have to remake those slides every time you're presenting in a different part of the country. So, but at the same time, maybe you just want to show those statistics. I'm presenting in Wisconsin. I just want to have Midwest statistics come up as a slide. So I might hide the Pacific, the East Coast, the South. And then when I go and present down in Florida, I'm going to hide everything else except for the South. So those slides are always available to me, but I don't have to remake them. So it's just a way to keep everything, but only present what you want to show people.
Is that a nifty tool?
It is a nifty little tool. Now, the other tool they want me to show you, which is super straightforward, is, okay, maybe I don't want this slide at all anymore. I'm definitely done with it. You can delete it. 2 ways to delete it. Right-click and hit Delete Slide, or simply, with it active, press the Delete key on the keyboard. And it's gone.
It's not magic. Magic is not.
All right, last thing we need to do for this lesson is to be able to add a transition in between slides. So first of all, how do you know there's a transition? Well, there's going to be a little star underneath the number with like a swoosh on it.
It says transitions up there, so you click on that.
You got it. So I'm going to click on my first slide. I'm going to click on transitions, and they just want us to insert a different transition in between different slides. Now, if you hover over one of these, maybe not. I thought it previewed it, but I guess not. Click it, and it'll once you click it, it'll show you what that transition is going to look like. Okay, now I've got this little star right here, and I can come to slide 2, and I can do now a wipe. Now, you don't want to have a ton of different transitions in a professional PowerPoint. It's going to be distracting, okay? So I don't recommend putting a whole bunch. I would actually, my favorite one is Fade. It's very clean and professional looking, and I would simply click the Apply to All box.
It's a pretty standard.
It is pretty standard.
So you see this duration and sounds. You can also add.
I was just going to get into that. I don't know if Microsoft, this program, is going to get into it
What's
more
the
advanced.
advanced slide on the very right?
Okay, yes, so a couple of things about this. First of all, sound. You could have it play a sound when the slide appears. Now, there may be purposes for that, but be careful if you're doing a professional presentation on what you choose as your sound. And of course, you got drop-down sounds you can choose, or you can choose your own WAV file that you download. Duration. How long is this transition going to take place? So right now it's taking place for 0.7 seconds. I'm actually going to make it 2 seconds so you can see
That's a lot of presentation.
how long this fade is actually going to last. So you can see that it took quite a bit of time to complete the entire transition. Now, advanced slide. Almost all the time you're going to use on mouse click. So what that means is when you click the mouse, or if you've got a remote presenter, when you click it, it's going to go to the next slide.
The same thing as hitting the arrow keys.
Same thing as hitting the arrow keys, same concept. But I have the option to advance on a time limit.
Like a delay.
A delay. So what I could do here, I'm actually going to do this going into slide 2 so you can actually see it as it happens.
So is that like let's say you're presenting on a slide, you're like on the last topic, you can just set it for like 5 seconds, so you just click it, but it'll like automatically go. Talking.
It'll automatically go. And that's what I was going to get into. I'm going to leave on mouse click as an option because you want to do that. Let's say you've set a 1 minute time limit for your talking slide and you're done in 30 seconds. You don't want to sit there waiting around for 30 seconds for it to go to the next slide. You want to advance. But if you're in a professional meeting and the manager says, all right, I'm going to give you 10 minutes of my time, that means your PowerPoint can't be more than 10 minutes. And so you can force yourself to be moving through the presentation by having a time limit. Now, other cool way that you could use this, slideshow. You guys have probably been where you've seen a looping slideshow of different pictures, sound playing in the background, and so forth. Well, you can do that in PowerPoint. And so you could just say, all right, I want each slide to last for like 5 seconds. Danny, you're going to be using this technique as you create the scene in your slideshow. You're going to be having it done advanced slide with a time. And so you typically pictures 5 to 8 seconds. Then you can have music loop across the entire presentation. And then what you can also do is you could have the presentation start over at the beginning after it's done. So you can just have it constantly looping. You also see that you guys probably haven't been to big conferences, but let's say you're going to a conference and you've got some food or whatever, you're waiting around, you got 15 minutes left for the conference to start. Well, they have projectors going of information, and that projector just keeps looping the information. Well, it's created in a slide deck. Most are using Google Slides now, but you do it in PowerPoint as well, and it'll just loop all of the information they want you to get ahead of time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to just set this for 1 second. And then I'm going to go to the introduction slide. I'm going to hit play. Now notice, advanced slide right now is on mouse click. So to get to slide 2, I do have to click the mouse. And now this one should stay up for a second, and then it jumps automatically to the next slide. And now I'm back on mouse click. Make sense on how that works? All right, we got 5 minutes. I think we can do the next section. Quick like. What I want you to do is go to Google Images and just download 3 images that you want to use. Of anything. Have it be a theme.
All right, Brett.
Do not grab pictures of me.
Oh, look, it's got your pictures on mine. Well, where's the pictures of you?
Now, of course, if we were really doing this, we would want to take into consideration copyright.
Are your pictures copyrighted?
Yes, they are.
No, your pictures of you, like school pictures.
Technically.
Well, can I use them?
Yeah, this is just for educational purposes right now, so you can use whatever. We're not saving this. This is just to show you guys how to make a brief slideshow.
What do we do when they're downloaded?
Okay. Now, I don't know if you noticed this. This is a good habit to get into. I know you guys are working on Chromebooks a lot, so I should probably just quickly touch on this. I have it in my downloads folder, but I did create a folder called Waterfall so that I'm organized. I can grab all those pictures very quickly. So staying organized as you do things, even on your Chromebook, use folders. And, of course, file names that are going to make sense. And I have Waterfall in each of these file names. All right, our instructions.
It's not capable.
Right there, good Bill. Cool.
Create a new blank presentation. Then click the photo album button in the images group on the insert tab.
What are the insert tab? Pictures?
File, new, blank,
Insert.
insert.
Pictures?
Photo album, there's an option under images right here.
File. Disk.
Yep, file disk.
Choose your pictures or folders.
Yes.
Or whatever it's called. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm in the wrong folder.
File. New. Blank.
To select all 3 of those images at the same time, hold shift. Click the first one, hold shift, click the last one, and then hit insert.
Now click on your pictures. Or you can just hold control, click each one individually if they're not aligned.
Right, so control is if you're clicking non-adjacent images. Shift is if you're clicking adjacent images.
Now we're gonna click the
Picture layout, we got fit to slide. Let me make sure that's what they want us to do.
Do we have to click the pictures?
Create the photo album, name it My Photo Album. Apply the white office theme. What?
You better click the little check boxes.
Yes, you do have to click the little check boxes. We want those to be in there. And then, okay, so under theme, browse.
You should click create.
No, you don't click create yet.
Where's theme? Oh, browse. Okay.
Yep, you got theme, browse. They want us to choose the office theme. Select.
What? Where is that?
It should have.
Oh, there it is.
You got it. Okay. Yeah, it should take you right to the themes folder. And go ahead and hit create. Office theme they want.
So what's the difference between doing this and just putting your own pictures on a slide? Does it just make it like even on the like page or something?
Yep, they're all centered. They're all fit to page.
And then it says photo album. Like,
And it creates a little, yeah, based off whatever username you're logged in, it creates that. It's also faster. Instead of having to place one image, size it, move on to the next slide, this is a lot faster. What I do want to do now, because we got 1 minute, I want to show you how to do a little something different with your pictures. So create a blank slide after 4, because I think we are done with this. Well, it says we can just go ahead and resize one. So let's just grab one of these pictures. Let's resize it down. I want to fit this more to the middle of the page here. What I want to show you is your picture tool up in the top right where you have format. There's some pretty cool things you can do in here. One of those is your picture style in the middle. So if you drop these down, you can see that there's a lot of cool options. And one of my favorite ones to do are these ones that create like a reflection. I think those are pretty cool. You can even do like a 3D effect. So just know that you can do that, and you have other picture formatting options up here.
you say?
Yeah, save this as Project 05.